recent.
How a retracted paper affected the course of Alzheimer's research.
But it's one paper, and what was the
Right.
focus of?
Okay. June 2024 landmark Alzheimer's
Beta
research
amyloid.
paper was retracted due to fraud allegations. Do we waste billions of dollars and thousands of hours of scientist time? Maybe not. Are new potentially hopeful drugs on the market targeting the subject of the paper, amyloid beta? The video breaks down the amyloid beta hypothesis, the fraud itself, and where we go from here. So what is the fraud itself, Jamie? Does it say? So you can find an article that's just not a video, not attached to a video.
Fake beta amyloid data. See, they've been relying on beta amyloid as being the focus. And what they're finding is the treatment that addresses beta amyloid, an antibody against beta amyloid, people are still getting progression of the disease.
I understand this, but I just want to know what the fraud was.
Oh, okay.
So what is the fraud? Amyloid hypothesis. Scroll down a little bit, Jamie. What's the fraud? Where does it get to the what did the paper bullshit about?
Putting it into perspective.
Okay. 56 paper lead to.
But later published and failed to find.
Where's the fraud? What's it say?
Let me try a different search.
Yeah, just find out like what was the. This
Look.
seems like very involved. This is a science journal.
Well, you know that in there are papers that have been written about reproducibility. Reproducibility is where a researcher does a paper, makes a claim about the results of his science, and then people look at that and they want to go and reproduce it to prove it. They found that 70% of them can't be reproduced. And when you looked at the actual scientists who did the original work, goes back and tries to reproduce it, 7% failure rate. So there are major publications that have talked about this reproducibility error. I mean, you can go on to Google Scholar or else into Google and look at reproducibility.
Okay, here it is. But over the past 2 years, questions have arisen about some of Masala. How do you say his name? Maslia's research. Science investigation has now found that scores of his lab studies at UCSD and NIA are riddled with apparently falsified Western blots, images used to show the presence of proteins and micrographs of brain tissue. Numerous images seem to have been inappropriately reused within and across papers, sometimes published years apart in different journals, describing divergent experimental conditions. After Science brought initial concerns about Maslia's work to their attention, a neuroscientist and forensic analysts specializing in scientific work who had previously worked with Science produced a 300-page dossier revealing a steady stream of suspect images between 1997 and 2023 at 132 of his published research papers. Science did not pay them for their work. In our opinion, this pattern of anomalous data raises credible concern for research misconduct and calls into question a remarkably large body of scientific work.
Okay, so it seems like the fact that he was reusing the same images, stating that they were new images, so he was stacking the deck in his favor.
Right.
Because he had a point to make. That
God, that's so gross.
Yeah, $2.6 billion?
Jeez. That's what the budget was.
That's the National Institute of Health,
Jeez. Dwarfs the rest of the National Institute, the NIA combined.
He was in charge of the Division of Neuroscience.
That is so crazy. So the budget of the Division of Neuroscience alone was $2.6 billion in the last fiscal year.